We are ruled by idiots, low IQ midwits, and clowns. Just look at the Labour front bench and arrest my case. These people aren't serious and they have no desire or wish to actually do what the great British taxpayer wants them to do, was to stop the invasion on the southern border. And this should have been done years ago, but it's not been done because, in my view, it's all part of the plan. If you find value in this video, consider liking and subscribing. It does help the channel out a lot. When you look at former Deputy Prime Minister, the Ginger Growler, Red Queen, Angela Rayner, go on TV and wax lyrical about the precious lambs and cherubs, the third world invaders who are coming over the channel, and say it's all about health and safety for them, not about the health and safety of the native British people. That is incidental. It's not in their calculation. You know they're taking the piss.
A craft or vessel this, why aren't they doing more?
But you're absolutely right that any vessel or dinghy or whatever you want to call it that puts people's lives at risk and the criminality involved in that has to be cracked down on. I think the French recognise that and have been working with the UK government.
They are not serious in the slightest, and they have no intent, desire or wish to rip up the post-World War II consensus and actually deliver the substantive change the British public demand. And it's the same with the Tories. That's right, the Uniparty. It's the same with the Tories. When you look at the Scarlet Woman, Edwina Currie, who was the mistress of former Prime Minister John Major, go on TV and say these migrants that are going to be put over southern shires in places such as Piddington, they're going to be at a loose end. And as well as giving them free money, free clothes, free lodgings, and free food, we've also got to give them hookers, because we can't let them get too fresh and familiar with the sweet dears and darlings in the Tory shires.
The obvious thing that 1,200 young men are going to need in the middle of a village like Little Piddington is a brothel. I don't think they're going to provide that. I have a feeling that's not going to be allowed.
Now, to their credit, the Tories and Reform UK are going to be launching judicial reviews to try and slow down the process of housing these migrants. Never forget that these migrants are being moved out of the hotels, so the Home Office and Shabana Mahmood can go on TV and say, we're shutting down the hotels. They're still coming to a neighbourhood near you. Nobody voted for them. Nobody wants them. And I don't want to be paying for them. I don't know about you. I can't think of a single person in the country that voted to give their money to these people. I was walking down the high street today, up in Cheshire, and the best dressed people in the entire area were the dinghy divers, not speaking a lick of English, decked out in all the latest clobber, paid for by me and paid for by you. It's a disgrace. It's an outrage. But I digress. This government is not serious and will not do the hard yard, like leaving the Refugee Convention, abolishing the Human Rights Act of 1998. Yes, we did have human rights in Britain before 1998, and also obviously leaving the ETHR. These are the bare minimum that our government, His Majesty's government, the national government, should be doing, but they're not serious. All part of the plan. And all of this is in lockstep with the attacks on Restore Britain and Reform UK by the legacy press. And then we get into an article. This is in a leftist rag, The Independent. So I'm going to bore you with this, because I had to suffer through it, so you do too. So bear with me. Ending irregular migration across the English Channel is a process, not an event. See what happens straight away. They're likening this, the southern invasion, as something as immovable as death. We cannot change it. All we can do is accept the reality and deal with it. Well, no, I reject that. I reject the frame completely. We can stop it. We will stop it. We just need a government with sufficient political will and the courage to stand by what the taxpayers and their voters actually want. Given its stubborn nature, it may be possible to completely stop the boats in a literal sense. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Do not lie. It's a cat and mouse phenomenon in which the authorities and the criminal gangs are constantly trying to outflank and outsmart each other with new techniques and tactics. Hence the evolution of the inflatable craft deployed to move asylum seekers, that's right, asylum seekers across the channel. The latest round, or the latest record, is 230 people crammed into a mega dinghy, 15 metres long, 49 feet long, buckling under its own weight. Only last month, the highest number detected in a single vessel was 165. The trend is happening as the French authorities have enjoyed more success intercepting dinghies launched off the usual beaches, and so the traffickers have developed a taxi boat system wherein, by much larger vessels, move further away, running along the coast as passengers wade in to begin their journeys. No doubt the British and French authorities will develop new circumstances to pass fresh laws to try to get ahead of the gangs, and the cycle will continue. I've pretty much said how you can fix it. Repeal Human Rights Act, repeal the ECHR, leave the 51 Refugee Convention, Bob's your uncle, vanish your aunt. There's no instant way to stop the boats. That's a lie. If there was, then any of the previous half dozen Home Secretaries who've been put in the same pressure from the public and media would have obviously seized it. Nigel Farage has shown how deeply unserious he is by pretending the Royal Navy can rescue them and drop them off back in France. Besides, it's not enough is made of the positive effects of migration. Ah, yes, the positive effects, particularly on economic growth. Ah, yeah, good for the economy. I don't care. To coin a phrase, I do not care. I would happily take a hit on the economy, shrink our GDP, look after the native British people, and I'll be fine with that. I'd be happy being a regional power for Britain, not a global power, if it meant we could look after our own. So I'm not buying that at all. Let's have a look now. The country, labour shortages and skill shortages. Oh yeah, the doctors, nurses and engineers. The balance to be struck and Mahmood is just getting it right. Again, I reject it completely. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree in the comments. Despite her efforts, which seem tireless, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has been the subject of harsh criticism, and rightly so, because of what's happening in the channel. But the truth is worth repeating. Trend is down, gangs aren't having it all their own way. In fact, this development is neither a matter for despair or anger. Well, now, I'm pissed off, and I don't know what else to say. I don't want my money being used for this. I don't think anybody does. Let's boil it down to that. How does it benefit the British taxpayer? I can't see anything in my particular view. It's not for the first time the delivery methods of the smugglers have been adapted. Anyway, it proves, if proof were needed, that this is a lucrative multi-million pound trade. No, it's a billion-pound trade, complete with its own supply chains. Yes, this is the point. There are supply chains, but what this article doesn't mention is the supply chain doesn't end in France. It's in Britain. The final links in that chain are the British government, the private hotels, the private landlords, and the human rights lawyers in Britain that are making money hand over fist, being paid my money. To deal with this, what you could do is sever the chain here. You could close the hotels, tell the hoteliers, if this is a genuine humanitarian crisis, it's on you. You pay for it. You're not getting a taxpayer penny piece towards it. And by the way, any of these migrants that are sponsored to come over as asylum seekers, the people sponsoring them should be held criminally accountable for any of the misdemeanors, murders, or other crimes that they commit, and they should be held to account as well. It should be a matter for private investment and business. That is my opinion. At any rate, blah, 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 blah. It's also characterised by what the Home Office rightly terms reckless and dangerous tactics employed by the criminal gangs facilitating these crossings, who continue to put lives at risk. That's right. It's not about the native population. It's about the precious lambs. Now, you let me know. Do you think I'm onto something here? Do you think I'm barking up the wrong tree? It's all about political will. I know how the kings of yesteryear will have dealt with this, whether that's Henry VIII, William the Conqueror, or whoever you want to label. They wouldn't have stood for this. We are his descendants. This is our country, our England, our Wales, our United Kingdom, our Scotland. We do not stand for this. We do not consent. A single brass farthing of my money shouldn't be going to this. It's an absolute outrage, and I'm going to continue to call it out on this channel because our politicians, they're not worth anything to me. They are beneath contempt. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share. Let me know if you think I'm right. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Have a good day, and thank you for watching.